How big was your graduating class? Sorry, I'm just very curious.
My graduating class was me. That face, you're like, what?
Let's talk tails.
Today's guest has a passion for all things number related and was sparked by a high school elective accounting course, nurtured across years of on-the-job experience, and ignited into flame after continually realizing how many small business owners desperately need support in effectively managing their finances. So what did she do? She founded her own fractional CFO firm, the CFO Service, in January of 2023, shortly after moving to Arizona. Dedicated to providing clear direction, focused goals, and observable results to other small business owners, she guides her clients to not only increase their revenue and profit, but also maintain consistent, positive cash flow. She serves as treasurer on the board of Nabo Phoenix. She also mentors other entrepreneurs through SCORE, fulfilling her innate desire to help others, especially if it involves numbers. She is even our CFO, and for funsies, she's an avid crocheter, pianist, aviation enthusiast, and volunteer. It's Amy Foeller. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Good.
Tell me, were you like one of those kids in school that would compete in like those mathlete things? Like, tell me the tale of this accounting class.
So yeah, I probably would have if that had been available to me in my schooling. But so the reason I took that elective high school accounting course was that I had already finished all of my 12th grade work by the time I was almost done with my junior year. So I had an entire year where I didn't want to go to college at 15. So I did go to
overachiever.
Right, just a little. So I took other electives that I hadn't taken before. Like I took physics and chemistry. I was able to take accounting, some other like business,
So did you
math.
know electives could have been like ceramics, photography?
Yeah,
those were my electives. Like
I wish.
extra gym.
Yeah,
Weightlifting.
Yes, not in my school, unfortunately.
really?
So
Okay.
I opted towards accounting. And
What is secretly like good academic school to be like, oh, we can't give you woodworking. Looks like you have to learn more about Excel. Like that.
Yes. Well, it actually wasn't Excel. It was a course from the 70s, handwritten paper ledgers. So I learned all about the debits and the credits. Some people might think that's really boring, but I saw it as putting things where they belong. Oh, this goes here. This goes here. What was that for? Oh, it was for that. So
You see this elvish cloak. Are you
Yes.
secretly 125 years old and that's why you did not learn Excel?
Maybe. No. Yes, I'm older than I look, but this is I attended an event today and decided to dress up like this.
Well, I love it. It looks fabulous. The green looks
Kept
fabulous
it on.
on
Thank
you.
you.
So tell me the tale that inspired you to actually go forward and make a business, because, you could just be working at someone else's accounting firm, or you could be working as someone else's just bookkeeper. What made you choose to
I did that. Been there, done that.
do the hard work of being a business owner?
So throughout my journey, I worked right out of college. Well, when I was in college, I thought that I wanted to be a CPA and do people's taxes. And then once I realized what that was, I decided no, taxes were not for me. So I moved up into the accounting world through bookkeeping. Like I was an AP clerk for a small business at first, and then moved from Michigan to Pennsylvania, got a job as an AP clerk for a facility, a BMW facility, actually, if I'm allowed to say.
You tell me, I'm your NDA.
Okay. No, that was several years ago, and I was just a temp, so no worries. But I did that for a while, so I got my taste of corporate accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that temp assignment ended, I got a job working for a local painting contractor as their office manager. Mm-hmm. And anyone who knows what an office manager is for a small business, I did everything. I did payroll, AP, AR, HR, IT. Amy, the copier's broken. What can fix it? I'm like, did you try turning it off and turning?
Sure.
Yeah. Turn it off and turn it back on again. That'll usually fix it. So I worked for that company for over 12 years. And over that period, I did their job costing, project management, all the numbers related details of what was actually going on out in the field with the painters and carpenters that we had out there, but the numbers telling the owners what was actually going on in the business, what areas were doing well, what did we need to improve upon. So over those 12 years, the owners came to realize that I was pretty good at that sort of thing. So they asked me to take on more of a CFO level role with more advisory, budgets and forecasts. I did a budget for them one year and they didn't use it. So I was like, I'm not doing this again if you're not going to use it. But that's neither here nor there. I may still be salty about it a little bit. So they wanted me to take on more of a CFO advisory role. And I said, well, I would love to. However, there are 2 problems with that. One is that I do not have the time. I am doing literally everything else in the office. So my time, I'm already working over a full-time job. And the second thing was the salary level was not there for the work I was already doing, much less the CFO advisory role.
Power to you for sticking up for yourself.
Yeah, I did my best. So I said, well, how about this? I will, and this was also around the time when I was planning my move to Arizona from Pennsylvania. So thankfully, COVID had let us know that I could work remotely. So I was able to maintain that employment for a bit when I was still out here. But I said, hey, I'm going to start my own business, being a fractional CFO. You can be my client, but you're going to have to hire people to replace me. So that's what they did. I don't know if that was the smartest decision for them, but it worked out for me. So that is what kind of kicked me to start my own business. So yes, January of 2023, I filled out the paperwork and founded my LLC with the Arizona Corporation Commission and started off trying to find people who had numbers that I could play with.
Yeah, dove in head first and went for it. But that's excellent that you did have that kind of first client. That definitely makes things a little easier, I feel, when you have that first client. I had a similar story when we started our business. We were working for a production company in Scottsdale, and it was just like horrible bosses could have been based on this guy. And so when we left, it was like right when I was working to deal with someone whom I'd already had a relationship professionally through another job. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a different email address to email. And so when you already just start with that one to just jump ship and go with, like, it just definitely makes things a little simpler along the way. But what are some, for people who might be out there starting their own business, what are some of the things that helped you along the way as you've been growing your business?
So, well, first of all, the number one rule is don't mix business and personal. If you have a personal bank account, that is not your business bank account. Keep things separate. As you're starting to grow your business, depending on what it is, you might rely on consultants in order to help you because I have a lot of experience with contractors, as I worked for one for 12 and a half years. So I know that they're very good at doing what they do, but maybe not so much the office stuff. So the things that you're not so good at, hire somebody to do that, whether that's in an employee role or in a consultant role, an outside person coming in to help you with your bookkeeping, with your finances. Because if those get out of hand, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. And how about for yourself, though, as you've been growing your business, who is someone who has helped you, or what was that first delegation point that you did?
Yeah, so actually, I haven't delegated anything yet. This is still just me right now. But I've received a lot of support I'm a part of the CFO community called the CFO Project, where I did my training, got some certifications. I'm actually one of their assistant trainers and mentors with them, and I've been with them for a couple of years now. So they've been a big help in giving me a structure. So when I wanted to start my business, I thought, I know how to do this, but I don't have a system or a plan, and I'm a very system plan person. Right. So I wanted something that could give me a little bit of structure in order to know that this is a good way to service clients that need your help. So I would say that's what I did. Getting my training, getting certified to be a CFO. Nice. And now I'm doing it. And I'm also working to build upon the system that they gave me and make it even better in what I enjoy doing. I like Excel, and if I can take an Excel spreadsheet and make it even better, I'm going to.
Yes, you will. And so what types of businesses do you like to work with? Are you trying to stay, industry specific? Are you industry agnostic? Are there just types that you like to work with the most?
Yeah. So CFOs are good for anybody. Yeah. Every business needs a CFO. They need some kind of financial guidance. I love service-based businesses because once you get into retail, that's a whole nother layer of complexity on top of your already somewhat complicated books. So I do love the service industry. I do have a special spot in my heart for contractors. So electricians, plumbers, painters, landscapers, you're out there doing the work and help handyman, I love those because their margins are very, very tight. So they need help to make sure that they're not going over and, having a loss.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
So, but it takes a lot of oversight in order to run that kind of business effectively.
Excellent. Tell me the tale behind you choosing your brand colors.
My favorite color is purple, and blue and pinkish make purple, so that's what I did.
Okay. Very awesome.
Yeah. I probably should have had a professional logo done. I did that on my phone a long time ago. Also, that kind of looks like lightsabers, which are cool. Neon colors. I just wanted something simple. So.
Something simple, something bright, something that you can tap on. Okay,
yeah.
very
I like all the colors.
Yeah.
Even though purple's my favorite, I would make it rainbow colored if I could, because I enjoy seeing how all the other colors interact with each other when they're next to each other and complement or whatever. So
very cool.
Yeah.
I was just curious because actually that exact color scheme was my first company, which actually is the LLC. So Financial Potion is a DBA.
Mm-hmm.
It was just simpler when Eric and I decided to do our business to just do a DBA because I already had the LLC. I already had all that, paperwork done.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually Lukewarm Productions, and it's an image of a purple coffee cup that then was like all happy coffee inside of it, and then was like surrounded by like a blue and a pink and so forth. And I made like a website on Wix with those color schemes and things. And because I thought like, it's just that like not too hot, just that like, but not room temp, that lukewarm. That's a perfect temp for a coffee.
Yeah. And here I thought it was someone named Luke that was affiliated with you somehow.
No, right. So you knew that. Obviously you knew that lukewarm. So no, that was my last name. That was my maiden name.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting. Okay.
Yes. So that was my maiden name because I had established the LLC when I was a contractor for a company in 2009.
Oh, wow.
2009. Yes, I know.
So long ago.
I know. So I was like, wait, what? So 2009. So I saw like, oh wait, we're getting paid under the table. What am I supposed to, I was kind of quickly like, what am I supposed to do here? And then somehow, I don't know if I was told or what, but it was just like, well, maybe I should make this like a business thing. And I just filtered. So then I just got the bank account, did the LLC,
good.
And just started paying into that and then paying myself. And that's why when, and that was then at least 4 years before we actually started our own business. So that's when we decided to start Financial Potion. I was like, let's just do this DBA paperwork because I already got these things set up.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Very
the foundation established.
Right. Yeah.
To build upon.
Yeah. Not so much the financial, that's where we're working now.
Well, Financial Potion.
I know.
It's bringing in that little piece.
It's bringing in that extra piece, which is kind of ironic that Financial Potion didn't have like, strong financial Excel plans the way that you do, but it's because video is your financial potion. Video is the way to get your ROI. Don't worry about our number.
Yes. Well, I will now a little bit.
Well, now you have to.
Yes.
You kind of have to a little bit.
Okay, I will. I do. I am.
Which I appreciate. No, I really do appreciate your approach and everything, and working with you. It's nice to hire professionals that love stuff that you hate. and not even that I hate the numbers or Excel, but it's just, I think it's something that a lot of business owners kind of need to swallow that big pill. It's like, you're good at that thing. Yeah. I might be really good, or, I hope you think I'm very good.
Yeah.
Helping people get people, looking good on camera, performing well, edit and do those marketing for video. But understanding projections in Excel. I took an Excel accounting course.
Yeah.
I got a good grade.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I was done. My brain was just
check.
Whew. Yeah, I had to always get good grades. You got to get the good grades, and then you're done. You just got to jam it in and then forget about it.
It's there somewhere. You need to filter back in the file, but it's way back there.
So far back.
Because all your video production files are like the closer ones. Yes. They're in your more recent memory, or
I know, whatever that section of the brain is called. See, now we need, the brain surgeon here. We need, exactly, to tell us those things. So tell me, what is your favorite tale that you've ever read or heard? We're wearing some Lord of the Rings garb right now, but in addition, for just pleasure, have there been any that have really inspired you or really helped you in your journey of being a business owner?
I don't know about business owner, but just life. There was an interesting, so back in Pennsylvania, in my introduction, you mentioned that I was a pianist. So I have played piano since I was very small, took lessons through college. So in my adult life, in order to get that creative outlet, I wasn't in a band, although I think that would have been cool. But
you still could do it.
I could.
Totally
who wants to be in a band? contact me. Yeah, I'll be your keyboard.
My daughter loves the drums. She's almost 3, but she can.
Yeah. Get them started young.
Right.
So I did musical theater productions back in Pennsylvania. So I would be in the pit playing the keys for different musical theater productions, and I did a whole bunch of them with a group called Star of the Day Event Productions in Pennsylvania. So shout out to them, a nonprofit organization that puts on local theater and supports all that wonderful stuff, cabarets that we did. So, but I also played for different high schools that were in the area. They would also have their musical productions for their spring play or musical that they were doing. So 2020, January, February, March, I was on the slate to play for a production of Into the Woods for a high school in Pennsylvania. And we got through Tech Week. We got through our rehearsal. We had our dress rehearsal where invited, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Invited dress for everyone to come. So these kids are in high school and they're putting on this beautiful story of Into the Woods. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a conglomeration of fairy tales. There's a movie, I think on Disney Plus, where the story of it's like Cinderella, Rapunzel, the baker, Jack and the Beanstalk.
So literally like any fairy tale that had to do with the woods.
Kind of, yeah. But Into the Woods, but the woods was a kind of a example of going through hard things in your life, or just difficult things, or journeying through. So, and there's goodness. Yeah, I know it's so. But this production, I show up opening night, and they're like, "We've been shut down, COVID. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it." So every production that I play, whether it's a musical theater production or a cabaret with a list of songs, I would burn a CD and listen to it. I have one of those old school cars that still has a CD player.
Nice.
I guess whatever. But that CD is still in my car. My car is not here right now. But at home, my car in the CD player is that Into the Woods CD. And I listen to that frequently. And listening to those songs over and over, and listening to the journey of the baker and his wife, and Jack and Cinderella and Rapunzel and the witch, and learning more about their motivations and how they navigated their own personal journeys and their interactive journeys. I don't know what it's exactly inspired me to do, but at the end, when they're like, Into the Woods again, Into the Woods we go again. We have to every now and then. Into the Woods, no telling when, but be ready for the journey. And there's just some really beautiful moments in that show, and it makes me consider that when I'm going into woods, whether that's personally, and it doesn't have to necessarily be big, bad, and scary. Little Red Riding Hood, she's in there too. Yeah. The wolf. But no matter what it is, if you have that inner fire or perseverance to get through, and not just by yourself, but the people around you, using them to help you get through the woods. And then what have I learned in the woods? And we went through the woods, and we're in the intermission between Act 1 and 2. Oh wait, here comes Act 2. We're going into the woods again, but it's going to be different this time because now there's a giant. She's mad because Jack stole her stuff, and she's coming down to wreak havoc. So if you've got a giant in your woods, you need the people around you to support you and help you through the journey so you can live to sing another day.
No, it's so beautiful. I just feel my heart goes so much to the students during that time. Yeah. The amount of seniors who didn't get that last season of whatever sport, the last play, that's where I was just like, no, don't tell me they weren't able to do the performance.
Right up. And so we had our invited dress. So they were able to do it, and
but not in front of the audience.
Not in front of everybody.
Different. If you're a performer, whether it's in the arts or for athletics, that's kind of what you live for. You kind of live for that feeling that you give the other people, and that you can feel their energy. So that's
Yeah.
Tell me the tale of your coolest crochet work.
My crocheting journey. I learned how to crochet and knit when I was in high school also. So that was another, not elective, but our principal taught us, and I learned.
Cute.
So, right?
How small was this Pennsylvania town you lived in?
Oh, it was in Michigan, but it was very small.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
it was a cult.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, how great.
I'm sorry. I'm just adding things up. I'm like, wait a second.
We can talk about that
teaching crochet.
Yeah.
What is this?
It was a very small school. She was fabulous.
That's awesome. How big was your graduating class? Sorry, I'm just very curious.
My graduating class was me. That face, you're like, what?
Yeah?
No, literally, it was
Okay.
me. I was the only one that made it all the way through kindergarten through 12th grade. I was the only one that made it all the way through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You're a
yep.
survivor.
I am a survivor.
Okay. That's
Yes.
awesome.
So yeah, but I walked the aisle by myself,
Oh,
put
man.
my tassel whichever way.
You were probably able to do like whatever you wanted
Yeah, I
then.
was
You
the
know, like, we all get in
valedictorian,
trouble if we
class
do certain
clown.
things.
Yeah.
You know, they all like keep us in line for
Yeah.
hours in this
Yeah, no.
hot building.
No, I
and
was
then-
like, oh, let me get all my work done. Oh, it's 11th grade, I'm done? No, nope, I'm not done. Do more work.
oh
12th.
man.
So yeah.
This is why
Yeah.
you're brilliant.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, if we need to do another episode, I can talk all about that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so what was your question?
Man, I don't even know.
It was
'cause I'm
crocheting.
so
I'm like,
shocked.
right? I know we've gone down a rabbit hole here. So crocheting. So
Yes.
during COVID, when everything shut down, I was like, oh, this is great. I can do whatever I want. What do I want to do? Oh, one of my friends crochets, and I think it's fun. I remembered how to knit, but I didn't remember how to crochet. So I retaught myself with some YouTube videos and started with some simple things. I did a lot of pattern tests. So when people make crochet patterns, they will to have them tested by other makers, especially if it's a piece of clothing, because they want different sizes. So is the small right? Is the medium, extra large?
Okay.
And then they'll have a whole bunch of other makers with different yarns showing this cool pattern. So I learned a lot and learned some cool stitches and ways to do crochet. So my coolest crochet project was a mosaic crochet. So if you've ever seen something that's crocheted that is like a picture, like little
Pictures within like
pictures,
the
within the
thing.
yarn.
Yeah.
So like it's a blanket, but it's not just like a flat blanket. It has like pictures of something on it, or like
little
a design
flower
on it.
pieces or something like that.
Yeah, or
designs,
just like a geometric pattern, but with two different colors.
Yeah,
So you're
yes.
crocheting with like both colors. But for one of my friends who was having a baby, I made them a bat baby blanket. So she and her partner, she is very goth, black everything, and they are very colorful and flamboyant, unicorn glitter, all of those things. So she, they love Halloween, and I think the baby was born in December, but it's close enough. But I found a motif of a bat, just like a spread wing bat, like, its head and its little wings spread out in a mosaic pattern. And I used a black yarn and a variegated colored yarn with like baby pastels, like light pink and blue and yellow and green. And so the front side of the blanket is the colors, like the colors in the background and the black bats. But I took the pattern, the existing pattern, and because I like to figure things out, I figured out how to make it look reversed on the back. So on the back, it's a black background with little multicolorful bats. So, and I made this bat blanket for them, and they love it.
Yeah,
the baby loves it, and
that child's gonna carry that blanket everywhere. Like, that's gonna be their
it's
thing.
a big blanket. The whole thing weighs like 8 pounds.
Oh wow,
it's heavy.
It's like a comforter.
It's heavy. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a big
goodness.
blanket.
Wow,
But
that is awesome.
that's probably the project I am most proud of, and it
long
looks
did that
really
take
cool.
you?
A few months.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the most part was just figuring out how to do, because I had one bat motif.
Yeah.
And once I figured out, okay, this is how, I flip it over, okay, how, and I'm going back and forth and figuring out how to make it look the same on both sides. And once I figured that out, then I was like, okay, I'm going to make it this wide. And then I made it as long as I wanted. And I was like, okay, this looks good enough. And then I went around the edge and did a border. So yeah,
So
a
cool.
labor of love, but it was fun.
All right. And then tell me the tale that got you to Arizona. We just kind of brushed on like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, hey, work, I'm going to Arizona.
COVID again.
Okay.
So I lived in Pennsylvania for 14, 15 years or so. And I was thinking like, I like this area, but the snow there in 2016, there was a blizzard that
I was already out of the East Coast by then.
blizzarded 36 inches or more in one night. And I was like, I grew up in Michigan, moved to Pennsylvania, and I've had enough of the snow and the ice and the cold. So I'm like, I want to get out of here at some point. So during COVID, my cousin was getting married in California, and I was already planning on going to that wedding, but that they basically reduced it to an elopement. So they didn't have their big wedding, but I had friends in the Phoenix area that I was coming to visit. I was planning to, go to the wedding and come back to Phoenix and hop back and then go back to Pennsylvania. So came here and just spent the weekend, and we had an adult lake day, and I met someone. There was a really cute dude there, and I was like, "You're cute," and he's like, "What, me? Man, I'm cute. What?" But we figured it out, and hit it off and started doing the long distance dating thing.
man.
And I was like, just because I'm thinking about moving out of Arizona or moving out of Pennsylvania doesn't mean that I'm going to move here right away.
Right.
So we got to make sure that this is working out. And it was, and thankfully it was during COVID, and flights were really cheap during COVID. So
Right.
we were able to make that trip back and forth fairly often. So it worked well. And I was like, okay, this is working. So how can I move out here? So that took another year of planning. I had to sell my house in Pennsylvania and find one out here. But so we did the long distance thing for 2 years, and now I've been out here for a couple years, and it's still going well. But yeah, basically that's the reason.
Yeah.
And I love everything out here. The colors, the
It's
warmth.
so gorgeous.
No snow unless you go up
Unless
north.
you strategically plan to see it.
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
thing. So I'm originally from Maryland, and yeah, I had never seen Arizona in person. I chose it just because statistically, I was like, okay, how far can my dollar go if I weren't to get a job? How long could I go without a job? You know,
Smart.
yeah, see, I got numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and just like, okay, how often does it snow? Okay, I'm looking at Tempe. Oh,
Never.
okay, great. I don't have to worry about snow. I can go see snow if I want to see snow.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, what about the seasons? Aren't you gonna miss the seasons? And it's like, no, you go plan to see seasons. You want to go see a season? Go see a season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always
Yeah.
the number one complaint I feel like people back east say.
Yeah, exactly. I can go to Wisconsin and visit my sister and brother-in-law, and snow galore. I'm like, okay,
Right, there
that's
you
good. My flight's delayed 4 times. Okay, yep, back in
I
Arizona.
know, so fun, right? So fun.
Yeah, that weather thing.
So tell me, what would be the biggest mistake you see that people make? You know, when you first start working with people, and you don't have to be detailed about the things that you did wrong, but
No,
you know,
those who shall not be named.
yes. So yeah, what are some of the biggest mistakes or biggest things that people should, pay attention to, especially if they're starting out in business to, start over
Yeah.
foot? I know you already
Yeah.
mentioned keeping your bank account separate.
Yeah.
But what would be another tip that people could work
Yeah,
with?
business personal, number 1 rule. Do not mix that, because your tax person is going to yell at you if you do that. And they're like, well, no, what's that for? What's that for?
Right.
So having that, but then once you have your business accounts established, then setting up, and this is bookkeeping speak, your chart of accounts, meaning your income accounts, your expense accounts, your cost of sales accounts, getting those set up to be able to categorize your transactions in your business in that fit into those categories, then you will have a beautiful profit and loss report where you can look down and say, oh, that's how much I spent on payroll, and that's how much I spent on marketing, and oh, look, my insurance, that looks a little high. What did I do last year that I didn't do this year or something?
Nothing.
So-
They just raised their rates.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, you had a 30% increase. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So setting up your bookkeeping structure to actively reflect what's happening in your business so that a financial professional such as myself can look at that and easily tell what's happening, seeing if numbers are like that. Oh, that looks wrong. Why is that liability positive? Why is that asset negative? Those should not be that way. So yeah, but getting that set up will allow you to have a report that shows you the things that you need to know to see what is happening in your business. The numbers will tell you, but you got to get them set up the right way. But once they're set up, you're all good. You're just like, oh, I went to the gas station and put gas in my company vehicle.
You're all good, but it is important to have someone like you in your corner to truly quantify everything. Because, we've been having kind of, stuff tracking things. And, we've been doing our taxes for years, but yet truly getting the nitty gritty of what it means and then projecting and things. And so it is important still to have, and I think a lot of people might fear like, oh, how do you afford to have someone like that? I think that's a big fear, especially when you're starting a business, hiring staff members, hiring anyone, anything where money is not going in your own pocket can be really intimidating and really scary. But I almost feel like, especially even just the bit of working with you, like it's almost like you can't afford not to. There's certain things where you
took
can't
the words out of my mouth.
afford not to, because if you don't truly understand how your money's working, or someone who can, project like, hey, if we continue this route, you're only going to last this long. You can only get lucky for so long. And so, I think it's really important to find someone like yourself, find, and then delegate other things. I know it took me probably the first 4 to 5 years in business before I decided to hire an admin, And so,
Well, when you can do it yourself, that's good. But
You
once
think
you
it's
start
good.
once you start seeing gaps or realizing that things are falling through the cracks, or oops, I haven't looked at that in 3 months.
Or not so that, it's just also the who, not how, in a sense. So that's a great book, Who,
Yes.
Not How, is seeing like what is actually delegatable. Like what is your, area of genius? Like what is something that only Amy can do, but, what is something that could be trained? What's something that you just put on an SOP and train, and it's not uniquely you.
Yeah.
So stuff like for follow-up calls, like that was something so easy to be like, yeah, sure, it's great for me to do it, but I don't have to be the one doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let someone else do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, having your structure set up effectively to capture your transactions, what's happening in your business, will allow someone like me to look and say, oh, what historically has happened? Is this accurate? Cool. Now I can take that data and project it forward and say, this is what's going to happen if nothing else happens, like in your business, as a catalyst for change or whatever.
Right.
So yeah. Oh, can we afford this in the next 6 months? Well, let's see. Let's look at the numbers. What do they tell us?
Yeah. Yep.
Hit the fast forward button.
Right. Fast forward, project, and then hope nothing crazy happens.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's another thing, is that sometimes things can happen. And
Yep.
so probably years like COVID, you might have looked at books a little bit of an asterisk, I'm sure. So it's not always going to be, the exact same. My other question for you is, I know when people are first starting a business, and I know I will even say we did the same thing. The very first year in business, we were kind of nervous about taking credit cards and the credit card processing.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of your suggestions with that, or some of the cards or services that you like the most? Now we're at the point where, we found a great wholesale person. We kind of eat the cost. We don't put the charge on the client.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was even my dermatologist. It was like, either pay us, in cash or check, or you could do, card with this extra percentage. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I actually just had a conversation the other day with a payment processor that they do that. So they have a cash price and then they have a card price, which is just the customer paying the fee. So yeah, I think we're past the day of I can just pay by check and it's easy and it won't cost me any money, because even to send a check from your bank, that might cost money. Or if you have a bill payment service, that's going to cost money. So those little fees are eating away at all the profits and income for people. So that's really frustrating. Everybody knows about Square and Stripe and those platforms, and they usually have a flat fee, 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. But keeping that in mind, if you do want to accept credit cards as a company, know that you're going to be paying a 3% plus fee, 3.5% depending. So building that into your pricing, I think that's the best way to do it. So it's just in there as a fee that is unseen, like administrative.
Right.
And
the thing is, too, I think I would wonder if, you would advise, like, depending on the industry or depending on what your price point is. Because for us, like, we quickly sought out wholesale pricing options because a video production invoice at 3% is very different than, some iced tea or root beer, for, 3%.
So you paid 20 cents extra for that, but you're going to pay $200 to accept that payment. So getting that wholesale pricing to be able to accept payments more effectively for your business, but still knowing what that percent is, then you can factor that in. So when you're building out your proposals, like,
remind me of the reports I need to get her.
Oh yeah,
because it varies on the cards, all the things.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Yeah.
So as you can see, Amy is pretty awesome. She loves Excel, loves numbers, and without numbers, you don't have a business. And so without positive numbers, you don't have a business.
Yes.
And so if you are in business and if your bank account is not looking the way that you think it should, you should definitely talk to Amy. So how do we get a hold of you, Amy?
Well, you can go to my website, which I built myself, so don't judge me too hard, the CFOservice.org. And it's an organization. I'm not a nonprofit, so it's just the extender I picked, or what extension I picked for my website.
It's still an organization.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. You can. I'm on LinkedIn. If you search my name, Amy Foeller, Foeller. I don't know, come to a NABO event. I'll be there.
NABO event. Yeah. So if you're local, come to a NABO event. Because do you only work within Arizona, or could you work virtually?
Oh, yes, I can work virtually. I work with people back in Pennsylvania,
There you
Wisconsin, here in Arizona. So
Okay.
all around the world, maybe. I mean, well, I don't know.
Potentially,
Yeah,
the
I
numbers.
US.
You're gonna do yens and
Yeah.
rubies. And
I mean, yeah, there's a
I guess
conversion.
math is still math. It's the most universal
math.
language.
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
is. Yeah.
In my CFO community, there's actually someone in Israel. So he's like, when we're talking about one of his he's like, oh, I have a question about this. It's like, oh, that's in shekels. Like, but it's still a number.
It's
So
still a number.
we can
It's so true. You
if-
can
if-
still communicate.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
all in shekels, then we can just do the same comparisons and be like, oh, that percentage increased and that one decreased.
That is true.
So yeah.
Yeah, math
Yeah.
is kind of
But
beautiful.
that's okay.
that way, though.
US is good.
But math is kind of beautiful that way.
It
It's
is.
the most like inclusive language. Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, they
nor
tell you
do
exactly.
They change where you are.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
that's amazing. I almost want to leave on that note. That's you. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Numbers don't lie, and they're, inclusive and the same for all. So
Yeah.
make sure you know your numbers and connect with Amy. Thank you for watching Tales with Taylor. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the Financial Potion YouTube channel to never miss an episode.